So when I stepped into the shoes of the EXCO for housing and town and country planning, and CM said, Guan Eng said, this is not easy because you're in Penang and you have to make sure every Penangite has a house over his head. So I said, CM, okay, no problem. Because to me, having a roof over your head is a fundamental human right. It's not just ensuring adequate supply of housing in Penang, but for the Penang state government, what is of paramount importance is ensuring adequate supply of affordable housing. As you would know, the prices of properties have skyrocketed in the past few years, not only just here in Penang, but I think every other urban state in the country, in particular Klang Valley, Selangor and Johor. As for Penang, I've always maintained that we remain to be one of the most, if not the most attractive states in Malaysia. This, of course, I always say, is because we have a very attractive government in Penang, whereby we administer the state based on the axis of competence, accountability and transparency, together with our goal of being a cleaner, greener, healthier and safer Penang. And of course, this also must be read in light with our Chief Minister's vision that Penang is to become an intelligent international city in the shortest period possible. As you know, one of the main reasons for prices skyrocketing is activities that are speculative in nature. So we have to address and try to curb speculative activities. So there was already in place a moratorium on low cost and low medium cost housing, but that was 10 years for government and 5 years for private. So we streamlined it to make the private also 10 years. So from the date of principal purchase, there is a moratorium, you cannot sell. And if you do want to, you can come to the state, but you must sell to a listed buyer from the state. Secondly, as you are aware, last year we have introduced a new species of housing, that is the category of affordable housing, which is what I'm here to talk about today. So in relation to affordable housing also, we know that this particular category, this particular portion of the market is a very sellable one, if you ask me, in Penang especially. Because you've got the low cost, low medium cost, and then you've got the medium cost. Actually, we refer to it as medium cost because that's what the market refers to it as. But in Penang, it's not medium at all. From low cost, low medium cost, the next one you have is 600,000-700,000, nothing less. So there is this entire gap in between of about, I would say, from 150,000 to about 500,000-600,000. And this gap, there is a huge market for it in Penang. But it is not being addressed because apart from the moratorium for low cost, low medium cost and the new species of affordable housing, we have also introduced as a cooling measure last year in relation to purchases by foreigners, a new measure that is 3% approval fee in relation to any purchases by foreigners. That means whatever the price, 3% additional will be imposed as an approval fee. Now this is over and beyond what has already been existing. In Penang, in fact, we lead. Where foreigners are concerned, we have addressed this by increasing the ceiling. We have a ceiling on the transactions or the property transactions by foreigners, whereby on the island, for landed property, nothing less than 2 million, only a foreigner can purchase, and for stratified, 1 million. For Seberang, the mainland province, it is 1 million for both landed and stratified. This additional measure is to address purchases by foreigners. Although, for your information, ladies and gentlemen, our information that we have, our data, our statistics reveal that the purchases, the numbers of purchases by foreigners actually is not much. We would want to think that Penang property is so expensive because, like I started, wow, we're so attractive. Everybody wants to come here and invest. And who is that everybody? Outsiders lah, foreigners lah. We want to think that, isn't it? That's why the property is so high. Because all these foreigners come here and buy all our high-end properties, making entire Penang go up. No. From our information, we have data that says that out of 100 transactions, only 3 are by foreigners. So even though we have all these cooling measures in place, we are still very resilient. The market force is still there. I think I spoke to my friend Jerry just now. Yes, the value may remain, but I think our concern now, where developers are concerned, I suppose, is the numbers of transaction. That I think has seen a dip. I was referring to a report by Radar Malaysia that I think was released on Wednesday, and yesterday it was reported in the papers Star Business. I saw the report saying that the property market has cooled down. But the report that I read does not refer to Penang. It refers to Selangor, Johor, other states, Pahang, Terengganu. But the big states, the 4 main players, Penang was not there. So that shows we are a resilient market where the property is concerned. And that makes my job even more difficult, ladies and gentlemen. Because we are trying here, what am I talking about? Affordable housing. But so far, what I'm talking about just makes it look like it's not affordable. Despite everything we are doing, 0.3% compared to the rest. KL 13.4%. And KL doesn't have its own wilayah or state cooling measures. That is just by the budget measures, national measure. Here we got national measure, we got state measure, still 0.3%. I say to developers, you will always make money, but maybe make little bit less lah. So Penangites can own property. Must take care of Penangites, isn't it? We are all here from Penang. So we must give the first time home buyer, Penangite home buyer, that chance to own a roof over his head. That is the job that I was given last May, and I am aggressively pursuing it, and I want to make that a reality. The criteria for eligibility is that the applicant must be a first-time home buyer for low and low-medium cost housing with a household income of not more than 2,500 and 3,500 respectively. I think this is something that's already in existence. Now, as for affordable housing units, the household income must be below 6,000, 8,000 and 10,000 for the 200, 300 and 400,000 units respectively. It should be noted, ladies and gentlemen, that subsequent to the announcement of the new species and category of affordable housing projects by the Penang State Government, the private sector has shown keen interest in developing 100% affordable housing projects in Penang. In fact, several projects have already been approved, and we hope the private sector will be able to match the number of affordable housing units to be delivered by the Penang State Government. For affordable housing, the application forms were only introduced last year in December, the 14th of December last year. Before that, the forms were only for low cost, low medium cost. There was no affordable housing. But in December, after the announcement of affordable housing in budget, the new PN1 forms were introduced, which encompass the 2, 3, 4 units. And for your information, since then, more than 100,000 forms have been taken by the public. That is the demand. Okay. Here, the state government, we have got eligibility criterion to choose and select the individual who's needy and deserving. We go through so much pain and trouble. Private sector, I just thought, please help me to build affordable housing. Your purchases will be subjected to my list. We will still go through that, we will give you all this, but they will then have to go back and ask for it. So in this entire picture of affordable housing, the bank is a very, very important player. Here we are doing everything to control the market, we are doing everything to ensure provision, delivery of affordable housing. But at the end, they have to go and get the loan. But the banks don't look at the affordable housing applicant differently. Do they? They don't. I want to buy a $5 million house, I go to the bank. I want to buy a 200,000 affordable housing unit, I go to the bank. The bank look at both of us the same. Is that right or is that wrong? It is definitely wrong. That is why there is a high rejection rate by the banks. In fact, I think Reda's report, the main reason, if not the only reason for this slowdown, it would appear from their report 2 days ago, is because of the banks. They have asked for the reinstatement of DIBS, which the Penang state government fully supports for first-time house buyers. And as I've always said, apart from DIBS, we also should come up with special packages. You must positively discriminate. I use that word, positively discriminate, in favor of the affordable housing applicant. You cannot treat him like the guy who's going to buy the $1 million to $5 million bungalow. Cannot. He is the guy who's a working class guy who has a certain income ceiling. So special packages, special rates must be given to him. In fact, several discussions I've had with the banks present, even Dato' Jerry was there. Some banks have shown interest, or rather have acknowledged this problem, and have in fact made a statement that they are going to come out with a special package. So I call upon the banks, please do your CSR also. The state is doing, the private sector has started to do, the banks must do also, so that affordable housing can become a reality for those who really need and deserve affordable housing. So with those words, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I've shared some insights, some of my thoughts with you. I know there's going to be a question and answer session now. I am ready to be grilled by you. Hopefully we can share more in that Q&A session, and I'm here on behalf of the state government. Let me just say, to listen to your views especially. Thank you very much.